Okay, so now we move to the Q&A sessions. And if you have any questions that not yet covered in the presentations, please submit the questions to us. And we will pick the relevant and critical questions to answer to you. The first one is, was it the current gross and net margins on the grocery store business?
Chang, do you have any recent number you can share with investor? I mean, the newest one. Because we don't have the number yet.
Yes, the newest one is from the newest one is for the year to date up to the February of this year. So the gross margins of the grocery business over 20% already, and for the net margins we are not disclose with the investor. So to what extent can online channels substitute for the loss of sale in the physical retail store?
I think the question is about mobile phone and consumer electric.
Yes, yes.
For grocery, we don't close the store. We open 100%, and we are encouraged by the government to open the store to serve the population. For mobile phone and consumer electric, the online cannot substitute 100% for the physical retail, that's for sure. Now only the people who need to replace something is willing to place the order online. Other people, they tend to wait. Let's say if I want a newer, a better phone, a nicer TV, I might wait for another time to buy. But if something go wrong with my phone, and then I will come out and buy, or I can put the order online. So my estimation, the number we have until now is somewhere between 20 to 40% maximum.
Okay, the next questions. Online strategy during the outbreak and the upcoming launch of the super app.
Oh, we are just started, not the super app, but we are just started. The super app have 4 components, but we are about to start. The first component is on about customer care. It's on about how to serve customer better. So let's say we start the first component only, and the other 3 we start later. So it takes some time for that.
So the impact in the rental renegotiation on mobile work profitabilities. So we see here a lot of questions about the operating expense. And Antai, could you share about this?
I cannot estimate the impact, but what we expect from the house owner is to reduce our lease up to 50%. If the government allow the store to open, if the government decide to close the store, and then we want them to reduce the lease by 100%, let's say during the 2 weeks of lockdown, and then we are not going to pay the rents. And so far the achievement is very close to 30% already, but our expectation is higher than that. And maybe we might return some location if the house owner don't want to cooperate, and we might move to the nearby location with a better price.
Okay. So most of the mobile world profit come from the TTD and DMX. So even if DHX grows well during this period, impact to the bottom line could be quite serious anyway. There is any chance that the mobile world will make loss?
The bottom line might be impacted, yes. But what do you mean by serious? From profit to loss? I don't believe it. No, I never believe it. Yeah. That's why we keep buying more share of our company. Now, you should not expect something like loss from this company. But the growth of 30-40% profit might not be happen this year.
Okay. And how different is the in-store grocery pickup versus the online delivery? Oh, so how different between the shopping on behalf of the customer?
Can you explain? You understand how we handle this kind of delivery? So So for me, this is one-to-one delivery. Customer, they order, let's say 7 items, and then somebody nearby will come to the store and pick up exactly the 7 items, and then bring the bucket to the customer house. So you can talk about, let's say 30-minute or 15-minute delivery, something like that. And the delivery start from the store. And our online grocery is different. We have 2 DC of online, one in Ho Chi Minh City, the other is in Bien Hoa. And in that DC, we stock around 5 to 7 SKU. And customer can choose from that 5 to 7 thousand SKU. But for let's say pick up, let's say grocery pick up, and then they can select from very limited SKU in the store. So the difference is range, and the second difference is all about the delivery time. Somebody will come to the store, pick up, and deliver to them immediately, and they have to pay for that. It's around 1.5 US dollars, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, and then what level of revenues for TTDD and DMX is required to be break-even on the EBITDA level?
In my mind, Chang, can you tell me the break-even number for Thay Giai Dong and Consumer Electric before them in a normal situation? Something like 1.5 billion for Thay Giai Dong and 5 billion for, what is the number?
Yeah, we have an EBITDA level, but for the company wide, we not yet check the EBITDA level for the shop.
Now let's talk about the profit, break-even, not EBITDA.
The direct profit.
I think I remember a number something like less than 1 billion for Thay Giai Dong in a normal situation, and less than 3 billion for DMX. And now since we cut the lease and we cut the personnel cost, and then that number come even lower. So from the store level, I don't believe that we have anything. We are very far away from the break-even point. Too far away from the break-even point.
Okay, so do you expect that will be further store closures for TTDD and DMX now is that the country is closing down?
That could be a scenario. That could be the scenario.
So
you
what?
See, starting from Hanoi and now a few other provinces, they start out already. So our store closure today is around less than 20%. And that number might go up in the future, depending on the level of the disease.
Yeah. But how the revenues in the recent days?
Over the last few days, I don't see the big decrease of our revenue. I think the revenue decrease is also less than 20% for Thay Giai Dong and Dien Mai San store. Total, I'm talking about a total.
Yes. And what is the debt repayment obligation in April and May? Does Mobile World will need to apply for debt deferment due to the period lockdown?
What does it mean, Chang? I don't understand. Debt deferment, what does it mean?
Mình có phải apply cho cái việc mà mình trì hoãn thanh toán nợ trong cái trường hợp mà phong tỏa thành phố, phong tỏa đất nước?
Now we still pay our vendor, our supplier on time. And for I don't hear anything like we need to defer our payment for our partners until now. Never, even from our vendor and our banks, we never have to. Until now, we don't have to do so.
Yeah. Has Mobile World managed to reduce the order as the lower sale is expected during the lockdown period?
Yes, we negotiate with our partners. That means our supplier to postpone the shipment, to cancel partly the shipment, and also to review the whole PO. and they are okay with that because they know this is something nobody can control.
Okay. Can you update about the Bát Hóa Xanh business performance in March, especially in the recent days when the demands for essential people is go up?
The number of bill increase, I remember from 2017, 50%. And also the revenue increased by, if you compare same period last year, something like 300%. Yeah.
Yes.
3 times compared with last year. Same, and the bill this month over last month is 50% more.
Okay.
So this is the first time we see the revenue of Bát Hóa Xanh is above the revenue of mobile channel.
Yeah, the daily revenue.
Yeah, the daily revenue is more.
Yes. So in terms of financing, how much further credit facility can you tap in to support the business and the expansion in case of prolonged COVID?
So far, we use less than 50% of our credit limit with banks. And we still get the confirmation from the bank they're going to support us over this period. So credit limit, we use less than 50%, and all the bank confirm that they stand that for us. And also we see the interest is coming down now. Maybe thanks to the US dollar interest. So we borrow very cheap now.
Yes. Any consideration for closing stores which are not performing or if COVID prolongs?
Only in the case that we have no cooperation from the house owner. So let's say for the store which is not in the top performers, I mean the revenue is not in the top, and if the house owner is not okay to cut the lease by 50%, we might consider to return that and look for a new location nearby.
Should the companies preserve the cash rather than the cash paying the cash dividend?
Sure, we are considering that. Sure.
So do you think that BSX can make profit this year?
It's not our target to make profit this year. Our target over this year and maybe the next few years is to increase our market share and to become the #1 grocery retail chain in Vietnam. Healthily in a team manner, in the gap between profit and cost will be smaller and smaller over the time. If I want to see the profit, I can do that. I think give me 3 months, I can do that. I stop opening a new DC and then I fill out the capacity of the DC and then you see the profit.
Please expand why Mobile World does not have to close down all of the store, too many stores outside of Hanoi despite the directive from the government.
Depending on the local government. Because some local government, they let's say if something go wrong with your rice cooker, and then how can you stay at home? You have to go out and order something. So they might consider possible. A friend of mine who lose their iPhone. Somebody when he tried a motorbike and then somebody take the phone, and he still have to come to a store and replace. He called me and said, "Hi, if somebody try to use my phone and call you for borrowing money, and then be careful, I have just lost my phone." So they still have to use our product. So some of the local authority, they don't ask us to close, but once they ask us to close, and then we do immediately. Just like Hanoi, they come and say, okay, for DMX, for consumer electric, you are too big, too dangerous, and then please close, and then we do immediately. And they say, okay, for mobile store, it's too small, you can open.
Okay, and have you seen any opportunity for the M&A in grocery store segment so far?
I haven't seen anything concrete from speaking.
Okay, have you thought of rolling out BSX aggressively in the current environment to win the market share from the traditional market?
We want that. The speed now is already high for us. Every month we open very close to 100 store. I'm talking about good location. I'm not trying to open the store and then a few months later close down the store. Different for some other small guy. I know that they allow something like 20 to 30% of the store close within 6 months after opening. But I'm not. I don't allow that to happen in our channel. I allow something like 1 to 2% mistake, but not 20-30%.
Okay. Add a search pricing in Bát Hóa Xanh go directly to the bottom line, any cost to it, meaning that other suppliers increasing their cost because of the search demand too.
We see that some of the supplier they increase the price, and we also have to increase the selling price. In the wet market, you would see something like a crazy price increase for instant noodle, for rice, for many things. But in Bát Hóa Xanh, we increase slightly. But still, we make a good profit in this period of time.
Okay. How can you continue to expand store rapidly for BSH in this environment? How could you execute that?
What is the difference? What is the difficulty? I don't see. Now you see a lot of location available. So it's easier to get the location now. The bottom line of fast expand is all about location. It's not because our ability to build something or to recruit people now. It's all about the location. And location is now easier to get.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning?
Location is easier to get now than before. For other things, it's not our bottleneck.
Thank you. So are you planning to revise the DMX store opening plans for 2020?
I think the number before is something like 700 store, and now I believe
no for the DMX, not the BSH.
No, we don't try to review that, but we postpone the plan. In fact, we want to open new store and to convert the small one to the big one and to change the layout, and everything should complete by the end of June. That's the original plan. But now that kind of thing might be completed a little bit later, but not the number. So we still do that, but we wait for the disease to be over and then we speed up things after that.
Okay. Can you share and project the potential impact on the same-store sales growth of TTD and DMX in the first quarter and in the second quarter of this year?
I think overall we still see positive same-store growth for Thế Giới Di Động and Dimension Store, but I don't think we are going to have positive same-store growth for the second quarter. The closure is there, and then people scared to get out. I don't think we are going to have positive same-store growth in the second quarter.
Okay. And how do the customer pay for the grocery, for the shopping on behalf of the customer mode? They pay by e-wallet or they still pay by cash?
Oh, still, I think more than 95% cash for the whole country. People don't have e-wallet, and people don't have even bank accounts. So our job is how to handle cash on delivery in the good manner so that the risk for both customer and our people are very minimized and controlled. You cannot change that in a short period of time. God is still there. Even for my family, I keep in my drawer a lot of cash because people don't accept other kind of payment. I have everything in my pocket, but it's not acceptable.
Yes. Does management still expect the BSH to break even at the group level this year?
I think I answered this kind of question already.
Yes. And as BSH is expected to contribute higher sales percentage as compared to 2020 target, do you expect the total financial year 2020 profit to be lower than the target?
For the whole company?
Yes, because the BSX still make loss and higher contribution in terms of the revenue?
Below the target, yes. In the presentation, you see already we make the target in December, where there's nothing announced related to Wuhan virus. So below the target, yes, but below last year, it's very difficult to predict now. If everything over in a short period of time, I really think that we are going to perform better than last year. But if this kind of thing lasts for another 6 months, and then it's really tough to deliver same bottom line like last year.
Does the company do omni-channel for the grocery currently?
Yes, we are about to launch that kind of thing. I mean, the delivery will come from the store. We have the delivery from the DC already, from dedicated DC already long time ago. But now we are about to launch the new way to serve customer. That means somebody come to the store and pick up and deliver to the house of customer nearby the store.
So the next questions, please comment on the competitive environment in the food retail and how the combo of Masan and Bean Retail has changed things.
Oh, you should ask Masan. Why do you ask me this kind of question? But for that, we see no impact on our performance and our operation.
So what is the medium-term plan for the EBITDA margins of the food retail business?
I cannot give out any number now. We are living in a very turbulent environment, and nothing like that happened before. So even the big country like the US and Europe, they cannot predict anything. If they predict anything, and then everything is not like today. So it's too trend for everybody. And I myself, I cannot predict anything. It's too difficult.
Is there the good opportunity for Mobile World to buy back shares?
If I have cash on hand, and then I will do that. But if you ask me, Mr. Tai, are you willing to borrow, let's say, 500 million US dollar, 100 million US dollar to buy back share? I'm going to say no. I don't want to see interest from that on our profitability. And the fact is that today we still have a lot of short-term borrowing. Even we decreased a lot, but we still have that. And I don't want to borrow more to buy back share.
How we can restructure the debt, extend the payment deadline, and how long? And if this is the situation lasts longer than expected, for example, 6 months or more, how can we make sure that we don't have cash flow issues?
There are two things. First of all, our short-term borrowing decreased a lot over the last 2 months, over the last 3 months since December last year. If you compare the new number, and then you see we decreased a lot of our short-term borrowing. And if you look at our balance sheet, you see that we have in the bank something like 4 to 5 months of operating cash. I mean, if we have no revenue, we still have enough cash to cover 4 to 5 months.
Yes. So any risk that the customer trade down on the groceries and go back to the wet market? And how can you compete with the wet markets which don't pay tax, salary, etc.?
I see the other way around in Vietnam. I see the wet market is very less customer nowadays. And now Bát Hóa Xanh has a lot of traffic and customer. That's the other way around, because wet market is not safe at all. I myself, I try to go there already. And even people in the wet market, they don't wear a mask today. Even now, when I talk to you, they don't wear masks. It's very risky in the wet market now. That's why customers tend to stay far away from that. I think after this turbulent time, and then customer will have new behavior. They will change from the traditional wet market to the modern trade people. Before, if we want to persuade customer about that, and then it takes time and money. But thanks to this, and then that will come easier and earlier.
Are you seeing more favorable purchasing or volume discount term from suppliers, especially for CE?
I don't try to do that now, frankly speaking. Even if I want, I can do that. But it's not a time to talk about that. Our partner, for me, our supplier and manufacturers are our partner. And they also suffer very heavily due to the disease. I don't want to push them even further. It's not the right time to talk about that. In difficult time that I want to share with them the difficulty, I don't want to push further.
Okay. What is the average payback per new store opening in the grocery store business?
What do you mean?
How many years to recover the investment?
I'm not sure about that. I think the payback we can calculate only when we have profit, and we are not in that position yet. I don't know how to calculate that. Chang, you know how to calculate that?
Yeah, when the store have the profit, we can calculate, for example, the current payback period for the TTD and DMX around 2 years, but the Bát Hóa Xanh is not yet make profit.
Yeah, I don't know how to calculate the payback in the scenario where the store is, when the break even is not there.
Yeah. It's all about like based on the projections only.
I see.
What is the management thought regarding the ESOP for 2019, considering the substantial and recent drop in the share price, and looking for 2020, will the ESOP issue structure or pricing potentially be changed?
So there are two things. You talk about ESOP last year, and you talk about the new scheme for this year.
Yeah.
For last year, we have to do whatever we commit to do. I'm not the one who come out and say, I'm sorry, and you work for a whole year, now we want to change that. I'm not that kind of person. And for 2020, it's really difficult for the whole company and also the shareholder. I know you see the short time share price drop, but I believe if you have enough patience, and then everything will come back. And remember, ESOP is very, very critical and important for this company. Whenever that kind of thing is over, and then I will be the first person to sell our share. My share, I'm sorry, to sell my share.
Okay. How are your competitors reacting in this situation?
Can you say again, please?
In terms of competitions, how are your competitors reacting in this situation?
Oh, I didn't pay attention to our competitor, frankly speaking. I pay attention to our action. What should we do, rather than look at what kind of thing other people is doing. I don't know. I don't have the answer for that.
So in the past month, in March, do you see any decrease in terms of the revenue or profit of TTD and DMX compared to the same time last year?
Yes, I see that. But it's not, it doesn't mean the remaining of the year will be like that. If you try to take the first quarter and assume that the remaining time of the year will be similar, and then it's the wrong projection.
Are you seeing this create an opportunity to further improve the company, and in what part especially?
Yeah. I think I see something. Before, we never believe that we can work from home like today. So today we believe that in the future we have a lot of new way of working, still deliver performance, and also save time for our people, including the top management and also the middle management. You know that from, I think, a week from now, no, last week, the whole IT team, they work from home already. Nobody come to the office. And I still see the performance there. Everything done very fast. It look like when they work at home and then they work more time and they pay attention to the work better than in the office. I don't know why.
Okay, and the next question is for Bob. What is your view in this situation? Hello, Bob. Hello, Bob.
Oh, sorry. What is my view about, that's a very broad question. You want to be a little bit more specific?
Okay, because like the question is, what's your view?
Well, first of all, you know, this is a very sad time for the country, very sad time for everybody. But you know, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. One thing's for certain, you know, Mobile World isn't changing its values. It's standing true to its values, and it's standing true to building its brand, not just for tomorrow, but for the next 100 years. So everything that Mobile World does in the best interests of the consumers. That's why customer centricity is so important to us. Is there going to be a short-term blip? Yes, but we are learning from it. In fact, and as Ty has just said, when we come through this, we will have learned a lot of smarter ways of doing business together. Much simpler, quicker, more nimble. And Mobile World is an extremely nimble company already. You know, and having been out there just a couple of weeks ago, you know, and the preparations for this activity was going on a long time ago. So I'm very confident that yes, there will be a short-term blip, but the 2 or 3 things that are really happening that I think are going to make a difference. First of all, our partnerships with our suppliers, particularly with BHS, are paramount. We're not about a fast buck. We're not about cheating people. We're not about taking advantage. We're about building a partnership so that when we come out of this, the BHS brand will be even stronger than it is today because we stay true to the values. Our supply chain is getting better by the day. Our predictive modeling capability in terms of forecasting availability, you know, Ty has talked about our IT team. They are quite exceptional. And having worked with IT teams across the world, they are quite exceptional. We will end up with a much, much better level of availability by SKU, by store, by day. So there will be some very strong learnings coming out of this. And the third thing is, you know, Ty talked a great deal about people ordering and then someone in the store collecting it and then delivering it. That's very much the same as personal shopper. You know, retailing has been doing sort of personal shoppers for some time, but this is taking personal shopping even to a further example that no one else has done. Sure, we've got to look at it from a cost perspective, and we've got to look at average baskets over time, but the principle is now being established and the learnings are being established. And of course, the sharing of people from the phone business and Genmaisan into Bakwar-san means we have more people that understand all of this activity. So we're building, I think, a very strong team. So am I disappointed about where we are because of this virus? Yes, because I think our progress would have been even greater than people would have expected. You know, Ty talked about circa 700 Bakwar-san stores this year. That's a very significant program, even when the market is stable. But the opportunity today is greater. So I think we're going to see more opportunities for better sites. We're going to have better opportunities with international importers as the market improves, because we've actually proven that we can make these products work. We've got to watch our costs. There's a lot of work going in on that front to make sure that we're always healthy, and Ty's talked about that. So overall, when you consider this environment, the company is in good shape to go forward. So I'm very confident. And if anybody wants to sell any international shares, I'm very happy to buy them. And that's as much as I can possibly say. I am that confident.
We still have cash, Bob?
Yeah, yes. Cash is king, Ty, as you rightly say. Cash is king, and that's why we're looking after our cash to make sure that whatever happens, whether this is a 3-month or 6-month program, and I tend to think it's going to be closer to 6 than it is 3. Unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen, but we will be in good shape, very good shape.
Okay.
I hope that.
Okay, thank you, Paul, for your sharing. And the last questions, any chance to relook at the current product portfolio and convert TTD and DMX to sell more consumer necessity products?
We don't have that intention. I don't want to dilute our brand. We are very famous to be the best phone shop in town and the best shop in town. I don't want to see, let's say, shampoo, detergent, that kind of thing in our store. We have a grocery channel for that already. I don't want to dilute our brand for mobile and consumer electric.
As Ty says, we have to be very careful not to try and be all things to all men. We have to be very focused on what each brand stands for, because the moment you start to try and be all things to all men in one location, you become a department store. And look at what's happened to department stores around the world. People have become confused as to what they stand for. One of the strengths of Tehezidong, Genmaisan, is they're very focused and people understand the proposition. We have to stay true to that, and likewise with Bakwa-san. Those propositions are very clear and we want them to stay that way, robustly clear, so consumers always understand the value they're getting in the experience and the product.
Okay, thank you. The remaining questions related to the specific numbers. At the current time, we just share about the numbers of the revenue only. The other number related to profit or the inventory or the debt level will be audited and released in the financial statement by the end of this month to all the shareholders. So we have covered almost everything in the question list. And for the interest of the time of everybody, I would like to take a few minutes back before the meeting and to say thank you for your great cooperation to date. And if you want to give us any comment, please feel free to send the email to our IR email investor@ttddong.com, and wish all of us a good health and safety. So take care and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chang, for holding the meeting.
Yes.
Thank you, Trang.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Ty.
Take care.
Yeah.
You're in a very dangerous area.